Welcome to the Unicorn Circuit, your weekly dose of car news, Fanking, conspiracies, my hat, cat, your head in the cat's hat.
Your town.
My town.
In your crap car.
Do we have any of those this week?
I don't know if we do. Doesn't matter. This one's going to be short and sweet because they're always short and sweet, just like they're always weekly. We have some big news. We've got some mad promos, and there's a massive Gemini episode coming out in the next 24 hours where you will see the colour of the vehicle. More about that later.
Martin, this is the biggest episode we've ever done.
Biggest and
How
smallest.
dare you suggest it was the smallest?
Oh no, it'll be medium size.
That's called a grower.
On the bigger side of medium.
It's on the average side of below.
I wouldn't want to be too showy. I'd want to grow into it.
Anyway, this is your last chance to win the customised Mighty Car Mods trailer built by Carousel here in Sydney, Australia. All of the details are down below. Someone is going to get it, valued at over $20,000. Go and buy some nuggets and drag them around. This thing is freaking awesome. You can check out the video, which is on this channel, about how it was built, and then all of the information is below. I think this finishes in like a day or two.
Yes, correct.
It's finishing imminently. All the details are down below. So check it out. Get yourself a mad trailer.
Giving away some mad Aussie-built stuff that's useful for car people. Love it. What else? We going into the news?
Let's go to the
going
news.
There? The Gemini project has kicked off finally after years and years of anticipation, and a lot of you going, when Gemini? When Gemini? I saw a lot of those comments, and that's fair enough because we did reveal it ages ago, and at the time we're like, should we show it now? I don't know exactly when it's going to get painted. It didn't get painted for ages because I wanted to make sure it would be done well. Luckily, Domino's came on board and helped kick it along thanks to a shout out on this show, and it's all going really, really, really well. There's a new episode dropping in less than 24 hours' time. You'll be able to see it. You will see the colour go on. You'll see basically, I think it was something like 9 or 10 weeks of work condensed into about 7 minutes.
Smash your F5 on the main channel, people, because that is where it's going to be dropping imminently. It might even be there right now. I don't think it will be. I think it'll be in like a day's time. One thing I do want to say about this is that what we don't want to do, and I know some channels do this, we don't want to go reveal a car and then 2 years later, I might paint my car, and then 6 months later, I was thinking of getting these wheels. We want to try and keep the meat hot. And by that,
juicy.
We want to put it in and just cook it so it's delicious, and then you can enjoy the feast. And so sometimes that means, like with the Gemini project, it did kick off years ago from actually buying the car. It means that there's other stuff in between, and then we want to try and give you a condensed thing. Sometimes you're going to get like, it might be, Gemini, something else Gemini, but we want to try and group it together. It just means that sometimes we can do the kind of quick flip videos, sometimes the dream builds, and then other times, these really big ones that involve lots of extra people. Speaking of which, Martin, what have you got down there?
So, our posters have arrived and they will be being sent out. I know some of you have already grabbed some of these.
If you have, we have already signed them and they're on their way to you.
And we have the actual framed version right here, and this is what it's going to look like, except with less tape. But I have had a little window here so you can still see me poking out, and my good friend here. And that is actually the bamboo forest that we revealed in this. So if you go back and watch the original video, just up the road was a mad bamboo forest. We went there and looked through the car. We drove the car there. It barely made it, by the way.
Only just.
Yeah.
Only just.
So
my 240Z broke down in Japan as well, remember? On the side of the road.
Yeah.
We love cars that break down, which is why everyone needs a trailer. These posters are available right now, but they are strictly for a limited time. We will never make them again. If you put an order in, we will autograph it. Martin, I saw... there is, I don't know if it's called a black market, but there is a market for used Mighty Car Mods posters.
I know.
Currently, there's a couple for sale for $700. And so this, of course, is not a finance show. But what I would say is that, and it's why I was saying, limit your posters to 2, because if you want to put your order in, I would suggest just going 2. And then you get one for yourself, frame it and stick it on there, and then one that you can just keep in there for keepsies, or treat it like gold. It's an investment because people are buying these for like $30-something. And then they're putting them up for sale for $700. Is that not 20 times the value?
There are posters out there circulating that I don't have. I don't have one.
I don't have any of them.
Because we sold them out and they're all gone. We signed the last one. And I think on the back one of the posters, like, this is the last one, and sent it. And
there's a couple in Super Garage,
we don't have it.
We probably should have kept some for ourselves. But the point is that... how investors are like, your thingos might vary to ours. The point is that people are making 10 to 20 times the money. It's not meant to be an investment thing, but people are selling them. They're trading them like
Transformers.
like Transformers.
Like 80s Transformers.
Or like He-Man. Anyway, I'm going to put that over here.
Done. When you see the episode, you will see the colour, which means we'll be able to reveal it on the poster as well. Once that episode's out, we'll show you what the rest of it looks
and
like.
The wheels.
And maybe peel back a few layers on the poster. But yeah, grab your poster if you haven't yet. They are available, but strictly limited time only while the Gemini series is happening. You'll probably be able to get one. Once it's done, people.
And try and limit your order to 2 because, otherwise it's just things get a little bit crazy.
Got any news?
Someone tried to order 50 of them.
Yeah, it didn't work.
And then sent us an email. Yeah, that was a bit weird. News, Martin.
Let's go.
Drifting's done.
What?
It's over. Toyota have made an AI autonomous tandem drift session thing with real cars.
Just because you can doesn't mean you should. But is it cool?
Well, here's why I think it's interesting. They were talking about neural networks. They were talking about AI, and they said we can't do this project without it. There's a YouTube video. They did it with Stanford Engineering and Toyota Research Institute. I just want to read you the description here because this is directly from their post. It says they made the first autonomous tandem drift, leveraging the latest AI technology. Stanford Engineering, Toyota Research Institute are working to make driving safer for all. Why is it safer? By automating a driving style used in motorsports called drifting, and they've put it in these, drifting, where a driver deliberately spins the rear wheels to break traction. The teams have unlocked new possibilities for future safety systems. Here's where I think it could get interesting. You know when you're riding along on a jet ski or on a running machine, and then there's a little thing on there and you fall off?
Yes.
And it pulls the plug?
The one no one ever puts on.
The one no one ever puts on.
Yeah.
Imagine if there was a version of that where you're driving along, you lose traction, you pull the plug, and then your car just cuts a sick drift for you. You're like, oh, I've lost control. No, but you're not doing this, sorry. You just and it just holds a drift. But what's interesting about this is I guess you could make one car drift by remote control or whatever, but they've got 2 cars, but they're not just following a predetermined path like a Scale Electric set.
They've got to communicate.
The second car is looking at the first one and constantly bouncing back and making decisions.
Clever.
Is it decisions? It's making algorithmic changes to angles to keep things safe. And I think that's kind of interesting.
I think that's cool, and I think that's also what's currently missing from driver aid technology is the communication between the cars. I've always thought that. I know it's going to come one day when there's like a standard, but if your car knew what the car 6 cars ahead was doing and it had seen something and stopping...
How do you know what they're doing, though, when the car 6 cars ahead, the driver of that's on meth?
Well, exactly. I mean,
do you know what I mean? Like, drugs is a massive problem with driving, and not something that when we were young, it was drink driving, right? That's the thing that you would like see, like... These days, when you look at those, what's that show called? The TV show, the reality show about the police pulling people over?
Oh, I don't know. Cops?
No, it's like an Australian one. RBT or something, or Highway Patrol, whatever it is. Anyway, the amount of people that you see on telly driving crazy, and they blow 0. And then they drug test them, and it's always methamphetamine.
Yep.
That's what's like coming up. Obviously, it's a scourge, and it's all over the place. But here's the thing. Can AI account for drugs?
What AI can do, and why you should be cautious of any news about AI, is AI can pump a share price. They've seen the statistics of when people do like those earnings calls, maybe I've spoken about this before, and they will talk about all the things that are coming up in publicly traded companies. So you go, oh, I'm going to keep my shares in Toyota and keep my shares in whoever else because it's all going really well because the CEOs are going, AI, and there was like a stat where it went from 2 or 3 mentions to like 20.
Oh, the more mentioned, the more money.
Because they jam it into an AI, funnily enough, and go, can you summarise the speech? And it's like, AI was mentioned 26 times because it gets people like excited like crypto did a few years ago and like, whatever else did years before that.
The mention of AI, because Google knows, it's that we don't need to get into this again, but there was a time that we had to do captions.
Yes.
Because we were training the computers.
We didn't. The audience was asked to do captions.
They were crowdsourced captions. But now whatever we
Smart
say,
idea.
They know. Cock.
Yes. Yeah.
They know that was said, right? So if we talked about AI and artificial intelligence and AI and jet skis and AIs on jet skis and AI and
we would have a
artificial
lot of
intelligence,
electricians watching.
would there be more views on this video than normal?
No, because what will happen is we keep saying "caw" like we do sometimes. You'll get a lot of people who are farming enthusiasts and are into chickens will be showing this video because it knows the content. It didn't used to. It just took your title and your thumbnail and your keywords.
Farming chicken.
Now it knows the content, and it's showing that to people based on it. It knows every single word. It knows that if you watch this, you are one of the 40 viewers or 42 viewers, and it knows because you like jet skis, electricians, AI, and cock like roosters.
We're back to 38.
Back to 38. We lost them.
Don't talk about AI.
Can I back onto your
Gross!
Can I back onto your back with some more Toyota stuff?
Yeah, do it.
All right, so Toyota, there is a thing going around the news. I saw this on Drive or Motoring, whatever it was, that they're talking about the next generation 2026 Toyota Corolla Yawn Fest.
210 kilometre range.
2,100 kilometre
zero
range.
on it?
That's significant. There hasn't, and I bring this up because there hasn't really been any news like that for a while. We've got lots of rain fingers of electric cars going. It's got a 380 kilometre range, or a big battery's got 400. Nothing like this. Like Toyota's just gone like fully 2,100. And how they're doing
is that actually available though?
Well, no, it's rumoured, it's talked about.
It.
But it's worth mentioning because, like I said, no one's spoken about this yet. And it came from Best Car, apparently, Japanese website. So they're talking about new hybrid powertrains, a 1.5 litre engine.
Quote me now.
With its latest EV technology. And they're also talking about new batteries, which is always the thing. You know, AI, new battery tech, it's those two things will really get people excited. And keep in mind, this is the sort of thing that does go through a company like Toyota, which is publicly traded. It goes through and they talk about all this new stuff so that people either buy shares, keep their shares, or whatever it is, pumps the price and makes everyone more rich. And if it comes to fruition, happy days. But 2,100 Ks, that's significant. In Australia, that'll get you from Melbourne to like halfway up Queensland.
Hey, Martin.
In Europe, they'll get you across Europe.
Think about the weight of a battery. Think about the weight of a car. Think about driving through oxygen. They won't be able to do it in a car that is like a normal-sized car. They might be able to prototype something that does it because the capacity of the batteries is not at a state that they'll be able to do it.
It's hybrid, though.
Oh, is it hybrid?
Yeah, sorry. I did mention it's hybrid. It's a 1.5 litre and it's hybrid.
Oh, so it's still got petrol.
To do that, though,
okay.
To do that, your hybrid system needs to be pretty incredible, but also your engine has to be pretty fuel efficient. The most fuel efficient car I ever drove that was a hybrid was one of those Mitsubishi FEV things, like SUV things.
Martin, that was awful, that car.
It was okay.
No.
2.1 litres per 100 was what it kind of averaged out to. So you'd put fuel in it once a month. It's actually a thing and it actually works. Anyway, what you got?
That's it.
Oh, that's it?
2.1 litres of absolute boredom. Be honest, does anybody make decisions about, I won't say your car, but does anybody make decisions about modifications on your car of a performance nature based on your fuel economy?
Yes.
No, not you. Does anyone?
No, they are. Not
the
me.
hypermilers?
Hypermilers.
No, not those people. Performance modifications, not for... Do you go, I'm going to do an intake, a big exhaust and tune, oh no, I might need to spend an extra $1 on petrol.
A lot of people do.
Do you do it?
A lot of people will do those mods, flash it and go, I use less fuel. And that's a thing.
That is true.
Because you're pulling fuel out of it. You're leaning it out, which gets you a bit more power to a point, and that uses less fuel. But if you're up it all the time, you're going to use more fuel.
Gross. Hey, Martin, some rumours are going around that Nismo has talked about working on a new electric sports car that is not the GTR and it's not a Z car.
Okay.
They think it'll be something else.
Like a super turbo again? That'll be sick. Imagine if it was a battery
we're
super
thinking
turbo.
something little and something affordable.
Sign me
now,
up.
the internet is doing what the internet does, and they're suggesting it might be a Silvia.
Okay.
I don't think a Silvia will be a Silvia if it doesn't have an SR20 in it. CA people, sorry. You started it, and that's...
Is a rear-wheel drive...
It did start with that, but it's like, if it's just using the name.
Is a rear-wheel drive Tesla Model 3 not just a Silvia? Because it's like an electric Silvia? Do you know what I mean? Because it kind of like...
We're down to 34 viewers.
Oh no, we lost some.
Is it... Come on, Martin. That's like last week when you said that there's no difference between an RS6 and an old Subaru wagon.
RS4.
Sorry, an RS4. Remember when you said that?
RS6 is different.
Have you changed your mind yet?
No.
Okay. Martin, that's all I got.
Okay.
You got anything
What's
else?
our next section? You got any legals?
Yes.
All right, let's go. Is that even legal?
Every week on Is That Even Legal, we talk about the legals of different places.
We expand our legalese.
We expand the mouths to fill them with legal juice.
That's right. Spread your legalese.
Your legal.
Yeah, legal. Okay.
Martin,
what do you got?
In Australia, do you like Australia?
Yeah, I love Australia.
Do you like cars?
Yes, obviously.
Do you like goats?
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Would you...
I have been headbutted by a goat. It wasn't fun.
Have you?
Yeah.
What was her name? Or was it a male?
It was a male goat.
Was it? What was his name?
I don't remember what his name was.
A goat pissed on me once. That's where I
Really?
got my powers from. Do you know this story? Yep.
I actually have never heard this story before, which is not something I say to you very
Really?
often. Go. We need to know.
So I went to a
know.
farm visit when I was at school. This is before I knew the power of the goat. You probably all know I'm the youngest of 4 kids. Everyone got given a bike. I got given a goat. So I learnt to ride a goat in Tarago, which is like between Goulburn and Canberra. And I'd gently pull that ear to go left, pull that ear to go right.
And that's served you well your whole life, right?
And then reach around and pull its tail from behind, gets just a gentle tug, and it gets going. And I would ride it bareback. I would literally have like no shirt on and like, and anyway. So I have a lot of respect for goats.
What do you do if it doesn't have a tail?
No, they always have little tails. We had Toggenburgs, and they have little tails. They're the accelerated tail. You know, when you're behind them.
Go.
Anyway,
I could stop you, but I won't.
No, don't. It's getting good. Anyway, I always liked goats, and I grew up on goat's milk. That's all I drank. Sometimes we'd get a thing called bucko milk, and bucko milk is when they ate the wrong kind of grass. And my siblings and I believed it was when the goats had urinated in the milk, because that's what it tasted like. But my mum didn't care. She was
tastes
just
like all goat
don't
milk.
waste it.
All goat milk tastes like it's got piss
But
in it.
imagine a 50-50 ratio of urine and milk. That's what the goat's milk tasted like on a bad day when it's eating the wrong stuff. Anyway, I went on a school excursion once to visit goats, which is pretty funny because when you grow up on a farm and then they're like, let's go visit the farm. It's like, I live on a farm. You know, it's like someone saying to you, look at all these shit cars in a pile in this paddock. And you're like, that's my
house.
backyard.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So anyway, I walked up to the
awesome.
fence and I saw this goat and I'm like, hey goat, how you doing? I didn't touch it or anything like that. It turned around and then I noticed my legs getting wet and it was somehow, while facing me, pissing on me. I don't know how that's even possible, but it was. And when I looked down and saw the stream of it, and no word of a lie, it laughed at me with a bark. It knew what it was doing and it knew that it was funny. And so guess what I did, Martin?
What?
Yeah, you know it.
I don't. I have no idea what you're about to say, honestly, and I usually do. What happened?
Martin.
Did you piss on it? Is that legal?
In Australia, it's illegal to urinate on a goat.
That's not equitable. It's not equity right there.
What?
I don't know.
I never said I did. You said that.
No, I didn't say that.
No.
What'd you do then? Don't leave everyone hanging. 37 people left.
I got my superpowers then.
Oh, you got your powers.
It's like it was the equivalent of Spider-Man.
Getting bit on the dick. Yeah.
He didn't get bit on the dick.
Oh, didn't he?
No, he got bit on the hand.
I was reading the wrong one.
Anyway, the goat weed on me, man, and then I was covered in goat wee, and I do think that the pheromonal activity from the urea from the goat's cock gave me special abilities.
What abilities are they?
I'm still working them out.
Okay, good. All right. I feel like we need to move on. Is that what's legal?
No. In Australia, it's illegal to tether your goat to a car and then drive it through a public space.
Thank you. Next up on
It's
this...
probably also illegal, I reckon, to urinate on an animal, and no one should do it, ever.
No, don't do that.
Ever, under any circumstances.
No. Save it for the trees. It helps them, especially your lemon trees. Next up, is that even legal? No.
I just did that.
Tinfoil. Is it tinfoil hat cat?
Let's do that. Have you got one? Have you got a conspiracy?
Yeah. Well, sort of. We're going to have a discussion about something. Let's go. This week on Is That Even Fat Hoyle Fat Cat?
Is that even fat cat?
Is it Fat Hoyle Cat? What is it?
This week on Is That a Fat Cat?
I get confused because it's conspiracy hat, a tinfoil hat cat. I don't know which it is. This week it's not necessarily conspiracy, but I want to talk to you about something. I want to ask some people because I know some of you this applies to. I was speaking to a P-plater the other day. Now, what's a P-plater? In New South Wales and Australia, we have provisional licences, learners, provisional 1, provisional 2, then you get your full licence. It was different when we got our licence. I believe you're in the original system where it was like, L's, P's done.
Yeah, 1 year.
Yeah, mine was learners, P1, P2, which went for like 2 years.
He's 5 years younger.
Within a few weeks of when they changed the system from that system to my system, which kind of remains now, but they've since added some.
Now there's a logbook system, isn't there?
There's a logbook
Did you have
system.
logbooks?
Yes, I think maybe I did.
Martin,
It was ages ago.
did you or did you not have a man in your car with you when doing your test, and then you passed your test, but he insulted your handwriting, which is freaking rude, and then your mum, legend, who gave us the driveway that we started Mighty Car Mods on, let him know in very clear and no uncertain terms that this was in fact not a writing test, it was a driving test, and that he should be quiet.
Your story could be true, but I think the story that you're thinking of maybe is actually a different story, which I may have told, and I'll do the 38-second version right now. What actually happened, because it's Gemini related, was I built my Gemini. I was 17 or 18 years old. I didn't know shit, let's be honest.
You still do. You still do. No, you do.
I'd fix it up as best I could. I'd paint it. I'd put nice wheels on it. I'd done the interior. I'd seat covers. All the stuff that you could do at that age with basically no skill and no tools. I had to get insurance. So they said, because your car's so old, you have to take it to, I think it was Bankstown, to the branch, and they will just make sure your car exists. And so I took it up there. I think I was only looking for third-party insurance anyway. It wasn't, I think maybe third-party fire and theft. I was worried about someone stealing it. Geminis are really easy to steal then and now. I took it up to the thing. A dude walked out, and he's like, not insuring this, not insuring this. And because the boot was a slightly different green to the rest of the car because I'd painted it with a rattle can.
Yeah.
Right? But he was basically just a dick about it. It wasn't so much what he was saying as how he was saying. He was just being a dick. So I went home and I said to my family, like, oh, well, I can't get insurance. And Mum's like, and just wrote him a letter. And I still have the letter. And the letter was just like, I didn't send my son for a personality test. Like, or you know what I mean? Like, please, the car on its merits, whatever. Let us know what's got to happen. And they ended up insuring it.
Oh,
it was just a letter that was kind of like, excuse me, please don't be shit. Because the car still qualified for insurance. They weren't going to... Maybe they thought I was trying to scam a paint job out of it or something. Maybe that's why they had that rule. But essentially, he was just basically a dick about it and was like, oh, it's a piece of shit car. And you don't say I would never say to a 17-year-old with a P plate on their car, that's a piece of shit car, mate. Like, what a shit thing to say.
Yeah.
Just go, oh, man, you have to do this, come back and see me. I go, okay.
Yeah.
And I go back and do it. Like, anyway.
Especially when you put in so much work yourself.
Oh,
you know?
was a shit go.
Mums are good like that.
I remember it.
I remember at primary school, like, the teacher asked if I was talking in class. I actually wasn't this time, but she asked me to come out the front and then threw me over a desk. Like, full WW, like, full wrestle, just
threw you.
Like, all limbs off the ground. And I remember sitting down again. I was a bit sore, and I was like, I don't know if you're allowed to do that. One of my teachers is in jail now, actually, from my first primary school.
Yep.
But anyway, then I remember going home, and Mum was like, how was school? And I was like, oh, the teacher threw me across the desk, like a wrestling move, and then I kind of imitated what happened. And then I remember Mum just taking me back up to the school.
Oh, right. Oh, it's on when that happens.
And I remember, like, she's like, where's the principal over there? And she's just like, you wait here. And I remember my mum walking up to the office, and I'm like, oh, if I had popcorn, it'd be like that meme. And then I saw the principal walk out. And then I saw the principal and the teacher walk in.
Yeah.
And then I saw my mum walk out and say, we can go now.
Okay.
Yeah. Shall that do for this segment, Martin?
I was going to do a whole thing about mobile phones when you're a P-plater, because I have a question. I just want this question answered. Maybe in the comments you can help me out. You're not allowed to use a mobile phone at all when you're driving on L's Pete's. That wasn't a rule back then. For a while, there was no mobile phone rules at all. Then they brought in don't talk on the phone, right? Because
in my Camaro, I was allowed to use my Alcatel.
Totally. And
I
think
I'll pick you up in a minute.
One of my family members had a car phone. That was a big deal. And you could actually just cruise around and talk on it.
My dad had one, and then he'd fire people with it.
Oh, God. And then you had mobile ones, portable ones, whatever. But I just want to read the thing. You're not allowed to use a mobile phone when driving, even when stationary. No texting, phone calls, emailing, social media, using the internet, photography, or music and navigation. And my only question was, you can't play music through your phone via Bluetooth, CarPlay, anything.
You can't.
You can't. You can't use navigation through your phone, but that you can use, there's an exemption, digital screens. You can use you can use something as a driver's aid for a navigation device, for example, GPS. So I'm confused. If you're a P-plater and you have your phone plugged in to use Google Maps or Apple Maps or whatever rubbish you use.
Well, that just said no. You can't use it for maps.
It said you can't, but then it says you can't drive with a digital screen on if you can see it.
That means a TomTom.
Unless you're using it at a drive.
No, you can use it. Is that what that means?
I think so.
So wait on, Martin. Let me just get this right. Because most cars now, when you get in, they automatically connect via Bluetooth to CarPlay.
Yes.
So
and it mirrors your screen.
Can you go back up to that other section again?
Yep.
Just read me very clearly the bit about the maps. What's the big bit and then the map bit?
It says
what's the yellow bit up there?
You must not use a mobile phone while driving, even when stationary. It gives examples, stopped at lights, stuck in traffic, which we know anyway.
Okay.
And it gives all the examples, texting, phone calls, whatever. Music.
I get all the texting and phone call stuff.
Maps and navigation. This applies to mobile phones that are handheld, in a phone holder, or hands-free, for example, via Bluetooth.
Wait on, hands-free?
I would have thought...
So is that not... This is the glove box. That's hands-free. But that's now playing music to this, so that's illegal.
Well, I think the problem is that if you have a CarPlay or an Android Auto or whatever, you do just have your music driving like you could for the radio, which is allowed, or you could have your TomTom GPS thing up on the screen. But the difference, I guess, is if you message me, it's going to go blink, blink, you got a message. and it's going to read it out. And I think that level of distraction is what they're going for. But I'm curious to know, in the real world, if you're a P-plater, what's the deal? Do you plug your phone in, leave it in the glove box? Like, what do you actually do?
What do you do? And is there potentially a way, I know people aren't heaps keen on control from governments and different things, which I get, but I wonder if there's a way that at a certain license restriction, when you're in a car, the phone just goes, hey, you can use a map and you can do some music, but you can't use the distracting stuff.
Well, see...
Can someone from Service New South Wales actually, like, legit question...
Oh, that'd be interesting.
We've got a email address below, which is the Unicorn Circuit. We've read the website. The bit that is confusing is it says you cannot use it for maps wirelessly, but it does say you can use a screen for GPS. So can you use your phone for GPS? Can you explain it to us? Come on the show if you want. Come down. We're in Sydney. Send us an email. Come and say good day.
Yeah. I'm curious because obviously mapping technology via phones is pretty good. It's why all these systems are so popular. They're up to date. You know, if you've got a 5-year-old GPS on there and it sends you on a 3-hour detour, I would argue in the middle of the night for a P-plater, that's not a good thing. So it's like, where's the line and how do you work it out? Or is there a way that they are working on to work it out? Because these things are not going away and neither are those systems. Because like you say, in all cars, a lot of the time they don't come with nav because it's got CarPlay or Android. So you don't get a nav. You have to go and buy one. Anyway.
Or have we misinterpreted this?
Yes.
I think what would be the good thing to do, there's a big audience on this show, believe it or not. It is more than 38. And a lot of young drivers. I would love to get someone here or a statement even by email that just like goes, this is the rule, but don't just send us a link to this page because that's confusing for us, and we would like to actually give people the
penalties
from the source.
Are pretty harsh as well. You can lose your license really easily as a P-plater if you get busted using your phone. There's the detection cameras everywhere. So yeah, how's it work? That's not a conspiracy necessarily, but I thought being that's all involved in all the rules and regulations that it might be an interesting one to discuss, and because I spoke about it just the other day.
And what do you do? Are you on your L's or your P's, your red P's or your green P's? What do you do, and what is your understanding of what the deal is? We will have a look through the comments and see if we can make sense of it all.
That's it.
Martin,
let's move on.
We
to
got no mailbag because people haven't sent us any of their crafty things. If you do want to send us something that you've made, or just some mail, or even a letter like this, something that you've written out yourself, like that, which is something that we read out a couple of weeks ago, then send us a letter and we'll read it out on the show. You can send it to the Unicorn Circuit, PO Box 475, Sydney Markets 2129.
Correct.
Let's finish off this show, Martin, with a random meat bag. All right, and the reason that you just saw the Fanking graphics is because I forgot about the best part of this whole show, which is Fanking. This week, there's some pretty rude ones.
That's all right. That's what Fanking's all about.
The group has been going berserk. There's some quality Fanks, and we're seeing Fanking evolve again.
Evolving again.
Which is amazing. So, Martin, the first one.
Oh, wow.
There we go.
Oh, whoa.
All right, so we'll just skip straight through to the next one. Martin, look at that. That actually looks quite delicious and quite creamy in the middle as well.
Lips around that.
That looks fantastic.
Yum.
Next up, we've got... Oh.
It took me a minute.
Yeah, it takes a minute.
Wow. It's a premium product, though.
It is. All right, next up, Martin. How did... This is...
Well done.
I'm giving everyone Fank of the Week.
These Fanks are like
every single
quality.
person has got... You can tell your friends you got Fank of the Week. Every single one of you. And you're wearing Crocs in public. Well done.
No, not well done. No,
Good job.
Done. Good on you.
What are Chips Ahoy again?
Wear whatever you want.
What are Chips Ahoy?
America, aren't they in America?
But what is it?
Dude, that's Chips Ahoy and peanut butter cups in one thing. That is 100%
What is
America.
That? Can someone get us some Chips Ahoy Reese's? Whatever that is. Who makes them? Can someone find out? Unicorn Circuit, PO Box 475, Sydney Markets 2129, New South Wales, Australia. I would love some Chips Ahoy Reese's. And if you send us some, we'll give your Instagram a shout out.
Sure.
Even if it's unrelated, as long as it's not too rude. Martin, that's the jolly time.
Oh, Fanking is good this
Blast
week.
o' butt.
Far out, man.
Oh, isn't it? It's amazing.
Wow. Next.
Next up.
Double Choco Gobbles. Choco cake with chocolate.
And Martin, that brings us... That brings us Fank of the Week. Drum roll, please. My little cockhead. Well done. Good job.
And on that, it must be time
And on that
for random.
enlightening note, please send us your Fanking images on the Fanking group. There's a link down below. Use that one.
Where did my poster go? I want to do one more shout out for this poster. Have you got a poster yet? We'll put a link up right now where you can get your Gemini poster. I'm showing it again because I freaking love these things. I'm very proud of the collection of them. I'm very excited to show you what that looks like. And maybe on the next Unicorn Circuit, we will. But by then on the main channel, you will have seen the Gemini. And it's looking spectacular, splendid. Other words that start with S that are not shit.
I'm going to make... That was good, Martin. I'm not going to claim that you're going to buy that poster for $39 and then make $700. Do you know why I've got that stuck in my head?
So get it, no, you're
because
not
that's what people are selling them for. To me, it's amazing.
They're trippers, mate.
They're selling them.
Okay, good on them. It's not what it's about.
I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but what I'm saying is,
what if it
forget
did?
your crypto and buy a poster.
It's starting to sound like a crypto channel, actually, with that kind of talk. Don't worry about it. It's going to be sick. What's next?
Do we? No. Should we? No. We can't talk about crypto now.
No, we don't
Can we talk about
it's
crypto?
way, no, that's gone, man. That's over.
Can I ask you a few questions about how? Okay.
You want to ask me about crypto?
Next time? I don't.
God.
Well, I want to ask you. I just don't want to hear about it. Remember when you used to tell me about it so much?
If you ask me about it, I'll tell you.
No. For a long time, you told me about it without asking. It was unconsensual crypto. Oh, okay. Do you remember? You'd go, oh, and do you know what he started saying? This is how you know Marty's a good friend. Oh, I know you don't want to hear about this because I talked about it a lot, but have a look at this. Oh, good, you lost some more money. Well done. Martin and I each spent, I think it was either $100 or $1,000. I lost all of mine.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you lose all yours?
No.
Oh, didn't you?
No.
I did. Here's what I did. I bought crypto with names that sounded cool.
That's fair. That works for people.
Because that was a dartboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just a gamble.
No, in all honesty, I think there's $600 left.
Okay, cool.
How did you go?
Heaps better than that. Haven't bought a Lambo with it yet. Maybe one day.
Really? Is your crypto going well?
No. It's gone okay. Like everyone's, it's just going the same.
Is it?
Yeah. Because it's all bullshit. But it's not as well. Which is why I find it interesting. Because it's all weird internet hypey bullshit, but it's not as well in some ways. But also, I think about more interesting stuff like Honda K cars and stuff like that.
Hey, Martin, if I lost $400 and that $400 went to you, did you make $400?
Isn't that how all...
Is that how it worked? Is the money that I lost just went to you?
Because
I could have just given you $400. And then knowing you, because you're a mad dog, then you would have bought me lunch with it.
No, I would have given you $200 because I would halve what you gave me. Do you know what I mean?
But you'd still take
because if someone gave me,
but you'd still take $200 of my
like
money.
If someone gave us 2 phones, I'd give you a phone.
No,
so
but
if someone
what if
gave me $400,
these were my phones and I gave them both to you?
Yeah, I'd go, thanks, bro.
But you'd still take my phone?
But it's not your phone, it's my phone. You gave it to me.
No, okay, but what if you didn't have a phone?
Yeah,
no, you don't have that. And so I invested in a phone. Oh, here's my phone. And then I lost some money. So then this is me losing money. The further away from it is from me, the more I'm losing money.
Yeah.
And then it went to you.
Yeah.
And then I'd go, oh, I don't have a phone anymore.
Yeah.
Now that you've got a phone.
There's these really cool, I've seen them, you can get these like mounts and it turns your hand bandsaw into a table one and I go, and I'd give you half of your phone back.
But now we'd have one phone that's in 2 pieces that doesn't
matter,
work.
Mate. It's not what it's about. That's the argument. You said it doesn't work. Well, that's crypto, right? When is the last time anyone bought a pizza with it? Really? They didn't.
Can you?
Store of value, man.
Can you? Can you buy pizza?
You can, but people don't. You can, but people don't use it.
Can
That's
you?
The thing. Oh, I'm going to get all the crypto people on this. We shouldn't talk about it, man.
I'm going to try and buy us a pizza with my last money.
No, because the only story you're going to get about that is the guy who did pay for pizzas in crypto in like 2014.
10,000 bitcoins to buy a pizza?
So the number keeps going up, but it was equivalent of spending like $40 million on a pizza.
700 million, I think.
There you go, 700 million.
Is it?
But there's all sorts of stories like that. Anyway.
3.7
You should use your money for stuff that interests you. For me, it's generally Honda K cars, but you can do that too if you want. Eat bag.
Pay off your debts.
Oh, that's a good idea. Random eat bag.
Because I reckon whatever your... do you want a financial special? Probably shouldn't ask us. But do you know what, Martin? Is I think what you do is you, because here's the other thing that I think some people do.
Yeah, we're at the end of this episode. No one's watching anyway, so we talk about whatever we want.
Okay,
we should have a section that's basically called shit talk.
Yeah, a new section.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole show, though.
Arguable.
Is, when I used to live opposite the methadone clinic up from the jail under the drug dealers, right?
I do remember, yeah.
So I would get 100% of my money to pay, just 100%, just like that.
Yep.
And then what I would do differently now is that I would actually try and keep like $30 or $40 a week to buy a treat. Because I think what can happen is that you could go, like, let's say you earn $1,000 a week. I don't know what the average wage is, but let's say it's $50,000 to make the maths easy.
Yep.
And then you end up getting $1,000 and you buy a bit of food and then you pay off your debts. It's a smart thing to do. So you put $900 and you spend, how long's a loan? 20 years, 25 years or whatever, paying your loan
easily
off. Then 25 years later, you're my age, because I'm 46.
Yep.
And you started when you were 20, let's say.
Yep.
And then you go, the last 25 years, all you've done is you've just been dragging the ball and chain and paying off the thing. And you go, well, then eventually I can retire. And I think there's a bit of a system in place, which is that you are like a battery, you don't want to get all matrix on it, and just grind you for tax and money and things as much as you can. And then when you turn 70, you can have a little relax. I actually think that you should try and have a little relax all the way along.
Yeah.
And I think it was that book, The Barefoot Investor, that I remember I read that ages ago, and he said, buy yourself a nice pillow. And then at least at night...
And undies, hey? He's like get yourself some nice undies. Don't walk around in like undies that are falling off you and holes all through them, because every day you put your undies on and like they're shit. Like, just get some undies... Oh, I'm talking to this guy about not wearing old clothes, but like things like that, small things that can improve your life. Obviously, this varies so much based on where you're from, and I appreciate a lot of people that watch are from very different parts of the world, very different socioeconomic, all that sort of stuff. We can only really talk our Australian experience. We are lucky to be living in Australia and born in Australia. We do have a very good system, but we are taxed pretty heavily. Absolutely. Look up the countries. We're like in the top 10 or the top 5, I think.
And I know people say there's good debt and there's bad debt, but ultimately, if you owe a credit card money or you owe an institution money, that is impinging your sense of freedom in your life, because you have to pay off your debts.
Here's one other angle
and
for you.
underpants should not have more than 4 holes in them. That's one leg, the main torso bit. You're allowed one more hole, normally near the butt.
No, the other way, the front. The holes at the front so you can...
that's a slit.
Oh, okay, sorry.
But I mean, there's the holes that it came from the factory, which is 3, leg hole 1, leg hole 2, torso hole.
Yep.
I allow 1 extra hole.
I forgot there was a torso hole.
Oh,
now I'm imagining underwear with no torso hole is basically useless.
Underpants with no torso hole is a beanie with ear holes in it, isn't it? It's like that, and then you have your thing. Is that the end?
Yeah, but I want to add one extra thing, because you did mention age. So I think you're 46, 45?
Yeah.
How old are you? I don't remember. I'm 40. I'm nearly 41. The other thing I would say as well, and it comes to that point about spending that $30, if there's a $30 thing you can do, or something that you can do that is a little bit age limited. Let's be honest. You're going to be like base jumping at 20 and base jumping at 40 or 60 is going to be a very different experience. If you're just saving everything for your retirement, I'm going to be happy in retirement, that could be 70 years old. And you might have missed the window to do some of that stuff.
And that's not true anyway.
I like to balance up a little bit of YOLO with a little bit of being sensible, but also just backing yourself and going, if you are prepared to work hard and you're not just sort of chilling out and sitting back, you know inside whether you've been like, you just, no, I'll be right, don't worry about it. That's an attitude some people have. Some people are go-getters, some people are somewhere in between. But to that point, if you can use that to have an experience that you can have at a certain age, which is going to get harder as you get older. Driving a Porsche is the same at 20 and 70, I'd argue. It's kind of the same. And I know that's why I do see a lot of old guys or old women that have made money and they want to spend, they go and buy a cool car, because actually, physically not that hard. You want to run a marathon at 70, that's different.
Yeah.
So maybe think about doing that stuff early and that stuff. And that's speaking as someone who's pretty squarely in the middle.
And people who are dreaming of supercars, I hate to be the one to tell it to you, and I know Martin will 100% agree with me, they are utter bullshit. I'm not talking about the engineering of them.
Yeah,
I'm not talking about the car itself. I'm talking about who you think you will be when you drive one.
Well said.
Is utter bullshit.
Well said, because I've seen this debated, and I remember you said it. You've said it on our show. You've said it on Top Gear. But you didn't get a chance to say in Top Gear that you said, I don't normally like supercars, but I get this. And I agree. I get them. I've driven enough. Like, I drove some $1 million Ferrari thing that some guy over a friend, oh, you can have a drive. I'm like, seriously? He's like, yeah, go. So we went around a track. And it was amazing. It was amazing. Do I think that myself as a person is going to suddenly be kicked into some new level? I'm going to be all the things I ever dreamed of because I got a Ferrari? No. Do I want to own a Ferrari one day? Yeah. If I can, absolutely. I'd love to get an old one and engine swap it or something. That would be great.
And I'll smoke it in my Porsche.
There you go. But I don't sort of think that suddenly, I better just save and never do anything else in my life up to that point. Whoa, this got deep.
Yeah. Do you know what would be amazing, Martin? But I don't know, it's probably too big. Imagine a unicorn circuit life advice special.
Oof.
But that would suggest that there's some life qualification that we have to give advice, and that's probably not the case.
That we can tell from. That's it.
But to cut a long story short, I think what happens is that some people, if they have a loan, they're paying 7 or 8%, and then they're investing in something and they're earning 2%. The difference in there is it sounds very conservative. I didn't actually get the YOLO. That because you're younger, you're actually a different generation to me.
I am.
And it was mine was like, I'm looking at work hard, do your same job your whole life until you get to a certain point, and then you just like have a rest.
Started to shift in my generation, but only
with
just.
him it started to shift with like, but what about now?
Oh, dude.
And then now
Totally
if you look at
different.
someone who's 20 years old, I don't know if they're even imagining what their superannuation looks like. I don't know if they're even thinking about it.
They're buying a camper and they're seeing the world at 20, which is actually...
And so they should.
And that's cool. And do I look back and go, I wish I'd done that? I did a bit of travel. Like, I always spent money to try and broaden my horizons to travel. But we're talking like the cheapest flight to go anywhere, the cheapest hotel, hostel, whatever, to go and do it. Like, that was the way that I spent. And that in some ways is irresponsible. And working on cars, also irresponsible. I had 7 Geminis at one point. I mean, I'd spent less than $3,000 on all of them. But why the hell did I have 7 Geminis? That's stupid. I learned a lot. Scrapped them, fixed them, worked out what was what. Went and delivered pizzas, made some money. Now we're in this mess. Like, you just never know. Well, a life advice special would be pretty hectic. I'd love to bring people in that we get life advice from, but it's so different for everyone, isn't it?
No, and it's so specific. And I think maybe we could save ourselves the trouble, which is that you try and eat good food where you can.
Yep.
Try and
Health.
get a job that you kind of like and get some of your money and leave it aside so that you can have regular treats, so don't delay that gratification forever.
Yep.
And try and be truthful to other people and yourself.
Yeah.
And get a good pillow. And underpants with no more than 4 holes.
Can we eat something quickly?
Yes. All right. Thank you very much. That's our next up. It's Fank the Eat Bag. Every week on the show, we try and expand our brains by expanding our mouth holes, and I will just reach deep into the throat of this unicorn that someone made us.
Look at that.
And Martin, this week we've got handcrafted dark artisan chocolate. What does artisan mean?
Artisan. It's not
artisan.
I always get confused by this. Is it artesian, which is what I feel like the word is, but it's written like artisan.
Artisan. It's made in South Australia, and it's got chili powder in it, Martin.
Okay.
It's chocolate and it's chili.
Why do we add things like that to chocolate? I'm sure it'll be fine, but like...
I think it's a flavour enhancer, Martin.
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah, right. I'm always... Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. Expand your horizons with your brain hole, and then someone goes, I got an idea, let's put some chili in it. It's like the most opposite thing I can think of, chocolate.
I think, in my mind, I feel like that's an American thing.
Yes.
Because they started going, let's add maple to bacon.
Peanut butter and jelly.
And peanut butter and salty stuff and sweet stuff.
And you know what I will never get on board with, and this is the most controversial thing of the entire episode, is
salted caramel.
Can get in the freaking
Martin,
bin.
Tell me about that almost as much as the crypto.
Salted caramel. Oh, don't know why. Let's excite various areas of the tongue just because one's not enough. I know. What do I know? Did you open it yet?
No, I can't. I'm so really sorry for wasting
Get the blade thing for opening the box things when we get things.
There's a knife.
Yeah.
But I think what we need, Martin, is we've gone kind of conservative with the treats.
Have we?
We need to get some weird stuff.
Sure.
Because that's...
you know what happens is, because we film these weekly, the stuff usually expires by the time we get to it. So if we get a couple of things in like a treat box, when we go there the next week, 2 years later, then it's usually expired. Good or hot?
Good. Eat all of
Is it
that
dark?
bit. Eat the whole bit.
Oh, is it going to blast me?
No, it's fine.
Oh, it's just blasting me already.
It's getting hot. Real hot.
Oh. How much chili do they put in it?
Mine's getting spicy, people.
1% chili powder.
No, that's enough.
That means if you eat all this, that's a gram of chili powder. A gram of chili powder would be significant, wouldn't it?
That's some of the spiciest. That's one of the spiciest things I've eaten in months. I reckon. It's getting hotter and hotter.
I hate to say this, I really like it. I get it. I thought that's like salted caramel grot. That's actually good because the chili doesn't ruin the flavour. I feel like salt ruins the caramelness of it.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like that's just an chili overtone. But this is stunt food. I would argue that this is stunt food. It's just doing silly stuff to your mouth because you can. But I could neck all of that. I'm having one more bit.
Eat all that bit. Thanks, everyone. This strange episode.
Yeah, very.
When are they not? Martin, I've got big plans for this show.
Oh.
Big plans. Stay tuned. I'm not going to say anything more about it for a little while.
Do you want to hear something else crazy as a crazy reveal?
Not really, because I'm kind of keen for some food.
Oh, yeah, let's go get some real food. I'm going to get something with chili in it, but not chocolate.
Okay, yeah, Martin, tell us.
The builds and cars and videos that we have already sort of like planned and gone, we're going to do this. We're already in 2025, people. Like, there's so much cool stuff that's already like lined up.
2026.
Well, actually. But I mean, like, I could tell you what the next 20 videos are going to be, even though some of the cars don't necessarily exist yet. I can tell you, like, kind of where we're going with it. And that's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a lot. But a couple more Gemini episodes to go. Very excited. Car isn't actually driving now, but it will be very, 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 very soon. And you'll see. Come along for the ride. It's on the main channel.
Right now, things popping up for that. I'm not saying you're going to... No. Just grab a poster.
I'll rate it.
See you, everyone. Bye.